Porn culture and the Jezebel spirit. So I didn't quite finish. I did a series on the Jezebel spirit. Didn't quite get that finished. I wanted to do an extra third video, but I think what I'll do is I'll just kind of combine it with this video because you know, with the Kanye West situation, and lately I've been kind of reading into like porn and stuff like that, how bad it affects people. It's addicting. It causes your dopamine and all this to, now, I don't know how substantiated these claims are, but it messes with your neurotransmitters almost like a drug, like it's a dopamine hit. Guys who practice NoFap, understand that concept. I haven't been a big proponent or follower of NoFap. I've gone my periods of my life where I've NoFapped, and I don't know. It seems to me that we're supposed to have sex. We're supposed to be having sex. We're supposed to be coming, but we're supposed to have a wife. We're supposed to have a woman in our life. So, in my opinion, from what I've gathered, a lot of what NoFap really is just guilt. It's just guys feeling despondent, really about just what they're really upset about is, not getting laid themselves. And then they blame it on porn when porn isn't necessarily the problem. The problem is you're not actually getting off your couch and going outside and talking to girls. That's really the problem. Of course, there's a whole lot that goes along with that too. There's a whole culture around dating and getting laid, and it's not easy on men. I've talked a lot about that. It's a hard game for a lot of men because a lot of men don't fit the criteria, and a lot of men are not that top tier male, and that's the guy who's having sex all the time, that top tier male. And a lot of it just has to do with genetics. A lot of it has to do with just your face structure and just the way you're born, and it's just unfortunate. And guys in the black pill community, they talk about that. But there is some negativity to porn. It's not so much that I personally don't look at it from an addiction standpoint. Like, maybe there's truth to that. Maybe there's truth that it lowers your testosterone. It's a dopamine hit. It acts like a drug. Okay, maybe there's truth to that. But I look at it from a somewhat different perspective because I understand social dynamics. And what I talk about on my channel is social dynamics, ultimately. That's really the core of what I talk about. Now, I'm talking about it from a red pill theme, from a red pill perspective, right? But really, the bulk of the content that I make in these videos is on social dynamics. How social dynamics plays out between men and women, and the red pill, and how taking the red pill is beneficial, and how it and really the red pill truths that I speak. So when I look at porn, when I'm talking about porn, when we talk about porn, how I look at it is, I look at it from a social perspective. I look at different things. I don't look at just like, okay, you're coming and that's bad for you. Maybe, I'm not going to say that's not true, but I look at it from more like, what does this say socially, right? What does this say from a social dynamic perspective? All right. Now, one of the first things that I look at, and this is something that I've always talked about when I talk about porn, is just the sheer amount of women who do porn, right? Which is crazy when you think about it. How many women do porn? There's just tens of thousands. Right now, these are our most beautiful women from everywhere around the world and everywhere around America. These are our most beautiful women on the earth are doing porn. Why? Because they want to get rich. They want to make money, but there's more to it than just that, right? they get off on it. They like that they're put on a pedestal. They like that they're idolized. That's why they call them porn stars, right? Millions of men jerk off to them, right? Millions of men throughout their whole life will be jerking off to them. That turns a woman on because it's a power thing. It's like, hey man, I made millions of men come. I'm not just making the guys that I'm sleeping with come. That's boring. That's old hat, right? That's something I've always done. Now I'm making guys lust after me and thirst after me on a massive scale, right? Think about that. That's pretty crazy when you break it down like that. Because literally you go on, X videos or X Hamster or Pornhub or whatever, and you have millions of video views on each video, right? Well, that's the same as YouTube, right? Everybody's watching YouTube. Like our whole, and that's another part of society that, another part of social dynamics. People are massively consumed with internet. People are massively consumed. I mean, they spend sometimes up to 12 hours a day. Just internet. People don't go outside anymore. People don't go do things anymore, They're just constantly consuming. And that's bad. That's a bad thing, man. That's not good. It's not good not to be social. It's not good not to get out. I believe we have a toxic society. Really do, right? Based on this social media. So when you look at how many views on YouTube each video gets, 100,000, 500,000, million, that's not uncommon, right? But then you go look at porn, and it's the same. It's the same porn videos, each porn video, and each girl's done hundreds of porn videos, and we're talking tens of thousands of girls. That's hundreds of thousands of probably new porn videos that are being produced every year, and each one is getting millions of views. That's a lot of consumption, man. That's a lot of consumption. Now, I don't know the exact statistics, but that's a rough common sense guesstimate, right? That's a lot of porn consumption, man. And I think I read somewhere that, I don't know. I really don't know the exact number, but it's a whole lot, like 3/4 or something like that, or at least a half of all internet traffic is porn sites. I mean, that's gigantic, right? Now, of course, we know porn is basically free now at this point until they remedy something, until they take these sites down, but they haven't, which, in and of itself is kind of a indication of, the people who rule over us. Like, why would they allow that? Why did they allow porn in the first place? You got to look at that from a social dynamic perspective, right? Why was porn allowed in the first place? And we know there's a certain group of people, if you really know the history of porn in the 70s, who made it legal. It used to be illegal. Then they went to court for it and changed it because it was considered art. It wasn't prostitution, it was art. Right? What a crock of shit. I mean, it's definitely prostitution, but it's also so much more than that. So much more than just prostitution. Yes, these women are whores. What is the definition of a whore? The definition of a whore is a female or male, but traditionally female, who, sells sex for money, who has sex for money. Right? That's the definition of a whore. Okay, that's pornography. Sorry. Porn girls are whores. They're whores. Now, mind you, these are some of the most beautiful women in the world. Gorgeous women. Amazing women. Better than models. Better than centerfolds. Better than actresses. Hotter than Hollywood starlets. Right? The most beautiful women. And here's the thing. There is no such thing as the most beautiful woman in the world. There's tens, and that's it. And there's tens all over the place. You know, and I don't even look at these women as like regular people. I don't look at a 10 as a regular person. That's not a regular person. A 10 is a, you know, I think it was, who was it? It's Louis C.K. who, you know, has his troubles with the Me Too movement, right? But he had a funny stand-up bit about the girl at the bar, the hot girl at the bar, right? You know, you could go, you should go watch that. It's hilarious. But he's talking about how hot women aren't even human. He's like, what is that? Like, you're a hot woman. Like, what are you? What is that? Are you even a human? Like, are you even, like, what do you even do? Like, and he's like, oh, you know, he's paraphrasing her, pretending to be her. He's like, well, I'm hot and I go to the bar and guys want to fuck me. And then I go to this club and guys want to fuck me. And then I go to this other club and guys want to fuck me. And that's what I do. Guys just want to fuck me. And it's like, that's true. That's so true. Like, that's what so many women are. That's all they have to offer the world is guys want to fuck me, right? That's it. That's it. So this is porn. Like, this is what they offer. Guys want to fuck them and they don't do anything. They just get fucked. Like, they're not, I mean, you could argue that they're bringing something to the world, like they're giving guys orgasms, right? Okay, that's fine, whatever. Like, yes, I agree that many men out there can't get laid. Now, this is what I'm starting talking about now, because I need to get into that part of it. This is why porn is so popular, because women are hypergamous, because women are not, they don't give the regular guy any play, right? If you're not an 8 or above, you're SOL, you're shit out of luck. And this is where porn comes in, right? You're shit out of luck. So porn comes in because guys can't get laid. You know, I'm not saying that guys, you know, they make this lie and they make this excuse that, you know, oh, couples watch it. It's to enhance the sexual experience of the couples. How? By making them lust after other people? That's why swingers are so popular now. It's like, what a lie. What a stupid lie. You ever notice how certain lies are just so stupid? Like, oh, porn is art. Really? That's a stupid lie. Oh, porn is going to enhance the sex lives of couples. Like, that's just a stupid lie. All it's going to make you do is lust after other people. Like, who believes that dumb bullshit? Like, if you're a couple, don't watch porn. Don't watch porn. If you love somebody and you're with somebody, you should not be watching porn. Sorry, because all that's going to do is make you lust after other people, guy or girl. And yes, a lot of women do watch porn. I think it's just as much as men, statistically. Okay, so anyway, now I want to talk about the Jezebel spirit. How does porn relate to the Jezebel spirit? Well, I've been talking a lot about that with Kanye West in my last video. Kanye West basically married a witch. I believe the Kardashians are into witchcraft. Everybody that's, you know, you can Google this, you can type it into YouTube. There's videos that come up with lots of evidence. Everybody that has associated with the Kardashians for a long period of time has, you know, whether it's, you know, Lamar Odom or Kris Jenner, I'm sorry, not Kris Jenner, but, well, Caitlyn Jenner now, I forget the guy's first name. The guy who was married to what, Chloe or whatever, like all those guys, man. Their lives have just been weird, and you can watch it. You can watch a YouTube video. There's a YouTube video out on it. I think it's called The Kardashian Curse, where everybody who associates with these women, all the guys who associate with them, their life is just turned wacko. Their life turns whacked out. And that's probably because these women are putting out curses. They're doing seances. They're contacting demons. That's what witchcraft is. It's contacting demons, right? So what does that have to do with porn? Well, first of all, Kim Kardashian got famous from doing porn with Ray J. Okay? People forget that maybe, I don't know, but she ain't no nice Christian girl like some people have tried to say. Like, this girl is a thought, right? This girl's a hoe, and she has been hoeing for a long time. She made a career out of hoeing, literally. All right. So what do you think these women are doing? They're doing the same shit that Kim Kardashian's doing. They're into witchcraft. They're into astrology. By the way, astrology is just witchcraft. It's just a nice version of it. It's an introduction into witchcraft. You're trying to learn about your life through the stars, are you? Well, what are the stars? What's that? The constellations, it's all part of the occult. It's linked. It's a nice way of doing it. It's cute and it's fun, but it's a starter course into the occult. Many women are into witchcraft, and it's linked to feminism, right? Now, how does porn culture come into the Jezebel spirit? Well, I had a video called The Jezebel Spirit. Like I said, I talked about it. Jezebel was a woman who was into witchcraft, and she emasculated her husband, who was King Ahab, who was a king of the Israelites. Now, there's a principle there that you're not supposed to, and she was a pagan. She was a Canaanite woman. So not only did this Ahab, and God didn't want the children of Israel to associate with pagans, because pagans basically had all kinds of, weird religious, ritualistic practices that were actually pretty satanic. They worshiped, Baal or Baal, whatever. They worshipped Moloch, right? They sacrificed their children. They killed virgins. They did all these weird, like think of the Aztecs. Like that's what these pagans were doing. These ancient Canaanite pagans and Babylonian pagans and whatever, right? It's all satanic stuff. And nowadays, Hollywood is basically the same thing. These people worship the Kabbalah, which is, if you get to the core of Kabbalah, it's divination. Divination is a form of witchcraft in the occult, which is basically contacting demonic spirits for power and for, wisdom and advice and things like that. Hitler actually was into divination. Hitler was into the occult, right? People don't know that, but he was. It doesn't mean that. I mean, that's kind of a, anecdotal point, but he was, and it's just like evil people are into this shit. Like evil people are into this. A lot of people nowadays know who this woman, Marina Abrahamoff or some shit like that. She's seen in pictures with Oprah and Jay-Z. She's a famous Satanist. She's a famous, I don't know if I should say famous, but she is around famous people. So Hollywood is a coven, right? Hollywood is all about witchcraft, and you can study this. I always tell my listeners to look up a guy named Jeremiah Cohen. He talks about it. So again, like Hollywood is Sodom and Gomorrah. If you read the Bible, Sodom and Gomorrah was an evil city that all they did was, fornicate and have sex with each other. It wasn't a moral place. It was a degenerate, horrible place that God eventually cursed because it was so bad. That's Sodom. Sodom is modern day, or Hollywood is modern day Sodom, right? That's what everybody there is fornicating. Everybody there is immoral, right? Where's most of the porn in the world filmed? San Fernando Valley, right close to Los Angeles. That's Hollywood, man. Everybody thinks, Hollywood is so nice with all these stars. Like, that's just the surface. That's just the front. Just like the Catholic Church, right? Oh, we're so godly. We're so nice. And meanwhile, they're raping little boys by the hundreds of thousands, right? Hollywood's the same thing. Everybody's like, Hollywood is so nice and they're all so moral and we love our actors. And meanwhile, they're all witches. You think it's a joke? Again, go watch Jeremiah Cohen. Now, I've talked to real Satanists, real witches, men and women who are real witches, and I've talked to people high up in the order. And it is an order. It's just like a cult. It's just like a, as far as witchcraft goes, they will tell you that the Hollywood people are just puppets. They're not, they're sort of witches, but they're more like, representatives of witches. There's people behind them that sponsor them, right? Again, you can study into this if you actually do your research. People think, that's just conspiracies, woo, but there's massive amounts of proof of this. right? So getting back to Jezebel, this is what she was into. She was into witchcraft, and there might be some power there. You know, there's some power there because demons are real, demonic shit is real, evil is real. It's a power, it's a force, right? So if we're saying porn in the Jezebel spirit, what does that mean? Well, these porn girls, they're witches. They practice witchcraft, and if they don't knowingly know what they're doing, they are puppets for these you know, demonic spirits, right? What does porn do to society? What does it do to our culture? It ruins families. It ruins morals. It ruins marriages. Okay? That's just a fact. It's a statistical fact. So that's how porn is related to the Jezebel spirit. These women are, you know, using porn, using sex to manipulate the masses, right? And we don't talk about that, you know. Even red pill and community, or even red pill and conspiracy theorists, right? They don't talk that much about porn. They're always talking about, like, you know, mass media. They're trying to manipulate us through mass media and and all this. Well, what about porn media? What about the stuff that we're watching to get our rocks off, right? Well, what does this do? Like, it's not just the physical. You know, I was talking about earlier how, you know, guys who are doing NoFap, they talk a lot about the physical, like, you know, the dopamine rush. It messes up your neurotransmitters. It lowers your energy, lowers your testosterone, makes you not have any ambition, all these things that they say physically. Okay, but what about socially, and what about psychologically, and what about emotionally? What does this do? Well, first of all, it makes you think women are whores, right? But here's the thing, it's kind of true. They kind of are, because there's something in female nature that wants to barter with sex. It's something in female biology that wants to exchange, you know, sexual favors or sexual intimacy for something. They always say, you know, prostitution is the oldest business in the world. It's the oldest business in human history. So what do you think porn is doing? It's just a furtherance of that. That's all it is. It's you know, it's at its apex. It's just concentrated. Now you don't have to visit a prostitute. You can watch a prostitute get fucked. You can watch a prostitute suck cock, and it's like, and hey, you know, there's something there. It's hot, and it's, you know, it's tempting, and it's captivating, and it makes you feel good. But at the end of the day, what is it? It's empty. You're not actually having a relation. You're not even having sex. You're just simulating the fantasy of having sex with visual art, right? And, you know, in a way, the female body is kind of art, right? It's sexy, it's beautiful. Like the male body, not really. I mean, the penis is, you know, a lot of people are into that as far as art goes. You know, if you ever actually study art, there's a lot of penis art. I don't know if you guys ever thought about that, but you know, if you ever go to take some art classes, there's always some weirdo in there that's drawing pictures of cock, right? Some closet homosexual, right, or whatever. But, you know, women love cock too. They think cock is beautiful and things like that, and so it captivates both men and women. But what does it do? Does it actually do anything for you? Is there anything that besides, you know, an orgasm that it gives you? Well, I mean, an orgasm in and of itself is pretty good, right? But again, like, what is this telling you? It tells you that, you know, people look at it like it's harmless, and like, what is it telling you? It's telling you that women can be bought, because these gorgeous women, these most beautiful women in the world, who could be actresses, they could be models, right? They're not going to have sex with you because you're just a Joe nobody who works in accounting, or Joe nobody who works for a management firm, or they're not going to have sex with you unless you pay them. So what does that tell you? It tells you that women can be bought. right? So what is porn? Porn is prostitution. And what does it say about female nature? Hey, this woman who wouldn't give me the time of day, now she's having sex with this ugly dude, or getting banged by 10 guys, 10 weirdo guys that who knows if they even got tested. And she's banging these guys. Like, women will do all kinds of nasty shit in porn, but they're not going to do anything with you because there's nothing in it for them. Why? Because porn is hot to them. Oh, it's hot. The guys are jerking off to me and I'll do anything. That's some weirdo shit, man. Right? But there's energy behind that too as well. You know, there's energy behind it, and it's not a positive energy. It's not a godly energy. There's a negative, demonic energy behind that shit. This is why I say it's the Jezebel spirit. Why? Because Jezebel was in contact with demons. She was a witch. She was into witchcraft. And what is that? It's divination. It's mystic shit. It's mysticism, which is getting into contact with the spirit world, right? And fornication is related to this, right? Fornication is related to that, you know? And it's messed up, man. It really is. It's messed up. And why though socially is it messed up? It's messed up socially because we are being influenced by porn. Our culture is being influenced by porn. People have even gone so far as to say America is a porn culture. What does that mean? It means America's oversexed. It means everybody's having sex and nobody's having, really love scenario, really loving sex, right? I mean, some people are, but our divorce rates are at 50+%. So, I would say some people even say it's as high as 75%. Unofficial statistics, right? People who've done more research into it said it's even as high as 75%. Well, what does that mean? That means marriage is failing. Well, what does it mean if marriage is failing? It means love is failing. Now, I've had all kinds of talks about marriage and how it's basically prostitution. It's exchange of intimacy for resources, because women are not going to marry a broke guy, and which means that their love, quote unquote, is conditional and contingent upon a guy's ability to provide resources. So that is all bad. That's all kinds of messed up. Now, if you add, like I said, it's all bad, given the fact that you add porn into the mix, you add the fact that people aren't faithful, you add the fact that women, after they've had sex with a few different guys, their ability to pair bond plummets, right? And then at that point, it's just a contract, right? It's not a love bond. I don't look at marriage anymore as a love bond. I used to when I was younger. I used to think that that's what it is. That's not what it is. It's a contract. It's a financial contract. Marriage is a financial contract. The number one reason for divorce is finances. It's the number one reason. It's the number one statistical reason for divorce: finances. So there you go. It's a financial contract. It's a financial transaction. Marriage. That's what it is. And it's solidified because love is not promoted. Everybody says they want to be in love. I hear women talk about, I want to be in love. I want to be in love. And then they go chase the bad boy. Right? So no, you don't want to be in love. They say, I want to be in love. I want to be in love. And then they go chase the guy with money, or they go marry a guy with money. No, you don't want to be in love, because you wouldn't do. Love is not conditional on finances. Love is not conditional on the guy being a bad boy. It's not what love is. Okay. So porn is a concerted effort by the evil force and evil power in our universe to further damage the real love bond, to further damage the family unit, to further damage, an institution of marriage, which is already failing. It's already failing. So there you go. Porn, culture, and the Jezebel spirit. That's what this is. That's what America has become. You know, if as much or more people are watching porn than they are YouTube videos, we got a damn problem on our hands, right? We got a real freaking problem on our hands. Okay. Is what it is, man. You know, we gotta change. We gotta recognize. We gotta take the red pill. But maybe it's too little, too late. I don't know. You know, when something as popular as pornography is dominant, you know, says a lot about what people are consuming, right? People aren't consuming the truth. People aren't consuming valuable, you know, wholesome-based information, right? Christian, you know, Christian values are being overlooked. Atheism is becoming more popular. God is being mocked. Okay, and then people wonder why nobody can be faithful. And then people wonder why everyone's addicted to drugs and opiates, why everyone's committing suicide, why nobody can be friendly anymore. We've lost our country. And it happened in subsequent steps. Second wave feminism,